If you look at Taiwan today, its importance doesn't come from size, military power, or population. It comes from something far more specific: semiconductors. But the real question is not what Taiwan built. It's why it built it in the first place. And the answer sits inside history, politics, and a very real fear of repetition. To understand that, we need to go back to 1949. After the Chinese Civil War, Chiang Kai-shek and the Kuomintang retreat to Taiwan after losing control of mainland China. Suddenly, Taiwan is no longer just an island territory. It becomes the last stronghold of a government that sees itself as temporary, vulnerable, and under constant threat of reversal. And that perception matters, because in the decades that follow, Taiwan is not thinking in terms of comfort or long-term neutrality. It is thinking in terms of survival. During the Cold War, the island sits directly inside the strategic competition between the United States and Communist China. And that is where a key shift begins. Instead of competing in labor-heavy industries alone, Taiwan starts asking a deeper question. What makes a small, vulnerable economy strategically necessary to powerful countries? The answer becomes technology. By the 1970s and 1980s, Taiwan begins a deliberate, state-led transformation away from low-cost manufacturing and toward high-value industries. And this is where the semiconductor strategy is born. The logic is not just economic, it is geopolitical. Because if Taiwan becomes essential to global supply chains, especially in advanced technology, then it becomes harder for any single power to isolate, replace, or absorb it without global consequences. So institutions are created with that exact structure in mind. The TSMC is founded in 1987 based on a very unusual model at the time. Taiwan does not just design chips, and it does not just consume chips. It manufactures them for everyone else. This pure-play foundry model means something important. It separates Taiwan from competition and places it at the center of dependence. Companies in the United States, Europe, Japan, and later the entire global tech industry begin relying on Taiwan for the most advanced semiconductor production. And that is where the strategic transformation becomes clear. Because over time, Taiwan is no longer just a regional economy. It becomes embedded in the infrastructure of global technology itself. Now add the geopolitical layer. As Taiwan becomes more central to semiconductor production, its relationship with the United States deepens, not just politically, but structurally. Because the U.S. tech sector increasingly depends on Taiwanese manufacturing capacity, especially for advanced chips used in defense systems, AI, and critical infrastructure. So Taiwan shifts from being a vulnerable post-war territory into a high-value node in global supply chains that major powers cannot easily ignore. Now, step back. The pattern is not accidental. A historically vulnerable position after 1949 leads to a long-term strategy. Avoid isolation by becoming indispensable. And semiconductors become that tool. Not just industry, but strategic insurance. So when we look at Taiwan today, we are not just looking at a technology hub. We are looking at a small island that converted economic specialization into geopolitical relevance, and in doing so, changed how major powers interact with it. And that brings us to the question of this episode. How long can Taiwan actually sustain this strategy of protection through technological dependence under the constant long-term pressure and uncertainty from China's position over the island?
If you found this useful, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more content like this. Feel free to share it with someone who might find it interesting.